What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? We're live here on YouTube. We're also live here on Instagram. I'm trying to go both platforms a little live today. Tried this out for the first time, so may have little technical difficulties, but I'm going to try it out, see how it goes. How's everybody doing? Monday, good afternoon. It is Monday, and you know, August 8th. It's the afternoon, and we don't have training camp, so we're going to talk live, answering your questions here on YouTube, here on Instagram. We're going two. I'm in two places at one time. Crazy. I tried this earlier, but there's some technical difficulties. Hopefully, we got it fixed up, and let's rock and roll. So, got questions here, questions there. We'll be answering everything you can do. Am I at work? Yes, I'm at my home working, answering questions for the 49er. So, let's get to it. Let's get to some questions. My man, acknowledge Rashad says it's his mom's birthday. Well, tell your mother happy birthday, and let's hope she has a blessed day. Let's get to some questions. My man Bilo says, let's go, Raj. What's Ian Rappaport stirring? Yeah, if you guys haven't seen, Ian Rappaport was on the Pat McAfee show today, and he's saying that Trey Lance is looking raw, he's inconsistent, he's struggling. But there's a lot of context that needs to go into what Trey Lance's training camp looks like. Like, to the surface, to the average person, to one person. So if you're just at training camp for 1 day or 2 days and you're like, oh, Trey Lance doesn't look good, you have to realize he's going up against the best defense in the league, right? He's got the elite corners, and these cornerbacks are playing such tight coverage, such tight coverage. It's unbelievable how great the secondary is. The D line, the O line's still developing. So to say that Trey Lance is struggling is kind of crazy. This is his first year as a quarterback. He's got to learn. And practice is a time where you make these mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. So honestly, I'm not worried about it. Ian Rappaport sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm worried about Trey," but that's what the media has been doing all off season. They've been cooking him up. They've been worried about Trey the whole time. And the issue is Trey Lance. He's young, and the media wants to feast on him. And the whole off season has been a tirade, a negative publicity stunt on Trey Lance. So why would they stop? It gets views. It gets the attention going. And again, everybody's gonna sit there and bash on Trey. They literally haven't played a game. It's practice. And in practice is where you make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes in practice. That's what you're there for. And again, the O line is still a work in progress. And they're slowly developing. Yesterday, Trent Williams and Mike McGlinchey weren't even in with the ones. So you can hear these reports. Oh, Trey Lance is struggling. You need context to it. There's been drops. There has been drops by the receivers. You got to count that in judging how Trey Lance is looking. So I'm not too worried when Ian Rappaport, of all people, who's Mr. Speculation, him and Adam Schefter are sitting there, oh, Trey's struggling, he's struggling. So I'm not too worried about it, but that's the media buy low. Let's get to some more questions. How are you doing? Let's go. My man, Fantasy Football Show Smitty, he says, Raj, taking over the 49er content on YouTube for your information. We're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube. We're doing it all, Smitty. Maybe I'll tap you in when you can. We got to get you in there. Let's get to some more questions. Let's see. Is Jimmy getting traded? That's a good question, right? Yesterday, Ian Rappaport, again, in the news, he says that the Niners really haven't found a trade partner, and they're going to keep him on until the cuts happen, roster cuts. And if they can't find a trade partner, they're going to cut him. That's what Ian Rappaport says. So they're going to hang on to Jimmy, right? And maybe they'll cut him. Maybe they won't. So it's kind of the story that we've been hearing all off season is, will Jimmy get traded? Will he get cut? We don't know. We're going to find out in a few weeks. He's been out at practice. He's been throwing. He's been running. He's been doing everything he needs to do. But we don't know if he is going to get traded or if he's going to get cut. So let's see. It's definitely an interesting story. Jimmy Garoppolo looks like he's been getting healthier, but he's not 100%. He's still working through that shoulder injury, but the rehab looks to be going. Every day he's out there throwing, running. But the reports are saying that they don't have a trade partner, so they're going to have to eventually cut him when cut dates come. Kind of interesting when you read into this, because that's what we've been deciding all offseason. Is he going to get cut? Is he going to get traded? So not too sure. Let's hit up on YouTube here. Josh Rodriguez says, what string has Juwan Jennings been doing with reps? I think he means what has Juwan Jennings been doing in training camp. Juwan Jennings has kind of had a tough training camp, Josh. He's had a lot of drops, but maybe he's one of those guys that doesn't practice well because he came on to the season very strong in the second half. He was that red zone guy, third down guy. So it's tough to sit there and say, oh, Juwan Jennings has a horrible camp. He's going to be terrible. But the thing is, Juwan Jennings came into the second half and there was a lot of expectations. You know, he stepped into the season last year and he skyrocketed. You know, towards that second half. He was a big time contributor, 5 touchdowns. Again, red zone guy. He was, first down. He made some game winning catches. So it's hard for me to say that he's not going to do much, but he has had a tough camp and that's something he needs to clean up. But we still got to wait till the season goes. And maybe he's just having a lot of expectations that he's dealing with, because there is a lot of pressure on a guy like Juwan Jennings. So it is tough to see Jennings, who's dropping passes, who's a reliable catcher, struggle. But I think he'll clean it up. He might be a better player in the game, right? Sometimes you're actually better in the moment in the game than practice. But practice is where you get better from, and you learn from your mistakes. He's had some good days. There's been a few days where he made some catches, but overall, he has had some issues with drops. So we got to figure that out. He's got to fix that up. But I still have high expectations with Jennings because you have Debo, you have Kittle, you have Ayuk. You can't guard everybody, and Jennings should be open, just like Danny Gray and Ray McCloud. Ray McCloud has been a very, very strong player in camp. Keep an eye on him. He hasn't played with the first team just yet, but every time he's in there, he's making big play after big play. Got great yak ability. I feel that Juwan Jennings, if he keeps on struggling, they might move Ray McCloud up to that first team, get some more reps, with Trey, and we'll see how it goes. But I think Ray McCloud is going to get a lot of action in terms of, extra plays, not just being that return man. He can do jet sweeps. He can do reverses, little slant plays. I like Ray. He's been very elusive. He's like a mini Yak brother. He's like a Yak brother in training. So I've liked what I've seen out of Ray McCloud. Let's go. Let's get over to some more questions. Josh says, what would you give up, Jimmy, and a first for Kareem Hunt? I'll do it I'll take Kareem Hunt, but I don't know if I want a first for, give up a first, because the problem is the Niners have a very good running back tandem, right? We have Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, TDP, Kareem Hunt, great player, but he's not a need for the Niners. I wouldn't throw a first-round pick to go get Kareem Hunt. I think he's a great player, but you don't necessarily need a Kareem Hunt. It'd be a luxury. We don't need a running back. We have very good backfield. And in training camp, the run game has been very strong. Elijah Mitchell looks so good here right now. Trey Sermon, he looks like he's improved. Looks like he's ready for a bigger second year. And Ty Davis Price, man, this guy is an impressive rookie. I mean, he's had some bad moments, right? Because he's a rookie. But TDP, I love what I see out of him. Hard-nosed runner. When he's decisive and he knows where he's going to cut, I mean, he just hits that hole like nobody's business. And he's faster off the edge than I thought he would be. He's very quick on the edge. I didn't think he was going to be able to hit it outside as fast as he can, and he's been very nice. So trade Jimmy for Kareem Hunt straight up. Drew, let's get it. I wish you were our GM. We go Jimmy for Kareem. Make it happen. It's the night over. So what's up, Jesus? On the YouTube, what's good? Bilo on the YouTube. Good question from Bilo. Do you see Jake Brendel winning the center position over Brunskill? Very good question. This has been the biggest camp battle of all of them. All of the training camp battles. It to me, the center position has been so hard to read because you got Brunskill one day, and then you got Brendel one day. Brunskill, Brendel. Who the hell's gonna start? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Kyle Shanahan probably doesn't even know who's going to start at center, right? But I'm starting to feel that Jake Brendel is going to win the starting center. He's had multiple days in a row where he's been with the first team. He hasn't had snap issues. Brunskill's had snap issues. He's not a natural center. He's better off at the guard spot. He's a very, good Swiss Army knife type player. I think if it continues to go the way it has, I think Jake Brendel will steal that center spot, and it's not a bad thing. Dan Brunskill could play everywhere on the line. He's just not a good center. I feel like Brendel is better off at center. And, he started off in OTAs and minicamp as the first team center. He had a leg up because Brunskill was dealing with some knee issues. So I think that might have given Brunskill a little bit of a disadvantage at that center spot. But I think, gun in my head, if the season started today, I think Jake Brendel will be your starting center. See how it goes from there, though. Let's see. AJ Howard, appreciate you. He says, how do you feel about the secondary depth? Defense gives off 2019 vibes. Love the content. Appreciate the support, AJ. Yeah, secondary has been a breath of fresh air this year. Remember last year, we sat here crying, screaming our eyes out, sign a cornerback. Injuries happened. Jason Verrett tore the ACL. You had Josh Norman, who was sitting in his living room on his couch, and he filmed a YouTube of getting the call from the Niners. What a weird ass way to sign a contract, right? That was a weird day. Josh Norman was a starting center, and they got Drake Kirkpatrick. Drake Kirkpatrick goes and gets truck sticked by the running back in Arizona last year. Like, that was our secondary. It was shambles. We had two older guys that weren't in shape that got signed last minute. This year, our secondaries look so much better. Charvarius Ward, dog, man. E-Man, dog. And we got great depth. Jason Verrett looks like he's getting healthier, which you love to see, right? You love to see Jason Verrett getting healthy. It's amazing. He might be ready by the season starts, but they're not going to rush him because you have really good depth. Sam Womack, Castro Fields, Diamador Lenore, who's looked good, Ambry Thomas. You know, they have a very strong secondary. And the beautiful thing is that front seven is unbelievable. And that front seven's gonna make this secondary even better. You know, that pressure up front gonna take pressure off the back end, and it's gonna help them. I talked to Charvarius Ward after training camp yesterday. He sat back doing autographs, and I was talking to him, and I was like, "Yo, Charvarius Ward, man, Pro Bowl season." He goes, "Better believe it, man." And he goes, I'm happy to be with the team. And I said, "Yo, you're gonna make it." I told him, I was so happy when the Niners signed you because I've been waiting for years for this team to get a lockdown corner. He goes, "I'm going to prove myself. I tell you, I'm going to prove to everybody that I was worth the signing." That's what Charvarius Ward said. Big smile on his face. I just love his vibe. Charvarius Ward, he's come into camp and he's crushing it. Great question. Absolutely love the secondary. As far as 2019 vibes, we have the D-line. We got the front seven, right? The linebackers are insane. The secondary looks great. It could be. Tarvarius Moore the other day in his press conference says it gives him 2019 vibes. Just saying. It may not be exactly what that defense was, but they have potential to be the best in the league. And this secondary is going to be better than it has been in a long time. And its D-line with the depth is absolutely incredible. But as long as they stay healthy, it's going to be great. Javon Kinlaw has been so good. You love to see Javon Kinlaw. He has been a breath of fresh air. I tell you, he's been an absolute breath of fresh air. The guy's moving quick. He's taking good reps. They're moving him on a little slowly, but every day he gets a little bit more chances with the first team, and he's been looking good. So let's get to some of these Instagram questions, and then we'll come back to the YouTube questions. This is tough, moving back and forth, trying to get to all of you. Let's see. A lot of questions on here. If I miss your question on here, go to YouTube, enter it. It's easier to get them on the YouTube. So stop holding on to the past. Hey, we love to talk about the past, right? We're Niner fans. Tomorrow's going to be lit. It sure is. Jacob says, do you think the 49ers signed J.C. Tretter? You know, a lot of people have been asking that. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to sign him because it's already the week of the first preseason game. And at the end of the day, they have to build that chemistry. Center and quarterback need that chemistry. And we're not at the point where we can just throw people in there and, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. Trey Lance is a young quarterback. You need to start building that chemistry. And I think the fact that we've had Jake Brendel and Dan Brunskill in there day after day tells me that I don't think they're going to go after J.C. Tretter. Unless a big injury happens or something comes up, I don't think they're going for J.C. Tretter. I mean, everybody wants him. He'd be great. But how's the chemistry with Trey Lance? He's never played with him. So the Niners love to develop their own players. They love to take guys that they have and go from there. So I think they're going to stick with Brendel or Brunskill at center. I don't think they go for J.C. Tretter. Good question. Let's see. Let It Be Known says, is Trey Lance sliding being worked on? He scared me a lot last year. Big issue not being talked about. You know, they don't really work on those types of things in those drills. I'm sure they're going to have some individual stuff off site. you're working more on like timing. You're working more on passing, footwork. Team drills. They don't really have to slide in these training camp practices because you're not going to get really tackled. So I'm sure that they're working on it in different aspects. When they're studying film and things like that. And then when they have their closed practices, that's when Kyle can really hone on certain aspects of the game. But I'm sure they're working on it because I know a lot of us are worried if, he's not sliding, he's going to get his head decapitated, and we don't need that. He's going to get hurt. I'm sure they're addressing it some way, but during these open practices, you don't see that type of part of the game. It's the drills, and then you got the scrimmage, and one-on-ones, and then you got the coaches and stuff working on certain little mechanics, and then you have after the practice they're trying to work on their route running, they're trying to work on their timing, they're trying to work on their snaps. So that stuff really doesn't get seen in training camp, but I'm sure that somewhere they're going to address it. This is a good question. It's something we need to take a look into, right? RA says, is OBJ coming to the Niners? I doubt it. I saw some tweets that he was tweeting back to Von Miller, maybe going to the Bills. OBJ is going to go to every team. He's rumored to go to every single team in the NFL. By the time his career is over, he'll have been rumored to go to every team. Maybe he goes to the Bills. I don't know. He's not coming to the Niners, though. How's Armstead? Armstead, actually, yesterday, he was running on the side field. He was running. So tomorrow when I get back to training camp, I'm going to see if I can get some video of Armstead running. Hopefully he's out there again. Again, he's dealing with a knee sprain, but I did see him running yesterday, which was a very positive sign for his rehab. I'm going to try to get a video of Armstead running so you guys can see it. So if he's out early enough running, I'm going to try to keep my eye on Armstead. But he's been having the little sleeve on his knee out there. He hasn't been doing anything because, he's got the knee sprain. But a great sign that he was running yesterday. So, yeah, we don't need OBJ. People on Instagram say we don't need OBJ. You're right. We don't need him. We got good running. We got a good wide receiver crew. And if you were to sign him, he'd be waiting till the end of the season because he's recovering from a torn ACL. So Bilo says we don't need him. I agree. Damien says, will you be at camp? I'll be there on Wednesday. I'll be there. Dat One says, do you think Jeff Wilson makes the roster? It's a good question. Running back is a tough position, and Kyle Shanahan loves his running backs. Jeff Wilson has flashed some abilities in training camp. He's had some really nice cuts here and there. He's been sprinkled in with the first team every now and again. I think Jeff Wilson ultimately will make it. It really depends on preseason, how far he can kind of go, how healthy he looks. Last year, it's unfortunate for him. It's kind of a lost year because he did get hurt. He got hurt in preseason, and it really, unfortunately, derailed his season. He had the knee surgery. He had to get his, surgery and rehab, and it really stunted his whole season. Even when he came back towards the end of the year, he just didn't seem quick enough. He just seemed slow, robotic. He wasn't making those sharp cuts and probably had some pain. So Wilson looks a lot more explosive this year. Looks like he's recovered very well. That's a guy that I think Kyle likes. He's good in scoring in short yardage situations in the red zone. I think he might make the roster. But again, preseason's going to be tough because you got a guy, Jordan Mason, who's really putting a lot of pressure on these guys. Undrafted guy. Kyle Shanahan knows how to get these undrafted guys like crazy. And it's honestly just insane how he can draft talent so late and they become really good. And then you get these like higher draft picks that sometimes don't pan out. You might as well, if you're Shanahan, just take all your running backs from an undrafted pool, right? But Jordan Mason's good. He's applying pressure. And you got JaMycal Hasty, who's been having an up and down camp, but he's a preseason warrior. If he shines in preseason, it's going to make it tough for Jeff Wilson. I do think Wilson makes it because I think Shanahan likes Wilson. He's kind of loyal to the guy. But if he doesn't have a good preseason, they might have to cut him. And it really depends on how Jordan Mason's playing. But if I had to take a stab at it now and give you a final roster update, I'll tell you that Jeff Wilson makes the roster. He looked okay in training camp so far. So let's see. Cordum says, how is O'Neal doing? I get this question a lot about Leon O'Neal. A very good guy. We love his mentality. Hard worker. He's usually one of the first out. He's usually one of the last out. He stays after practice. He's a grinder. But, the one thing about him is he doesn't get a lot of opportunities. These undrafted players, they don't get as many opportunities as some of these other players. He's on the third string, and he's making the most of them. Again, a guy like O'Neal, his damage is going to have to be in the preseason where he can make plays, showcase his skills. because right now he's just trying to learn his skills, hone his technique, learn the drills, impress the coaches. And in preseason, he's going to get a lot more playing time because that's who comes in on these games, your third stringers, your undrafted guys, things like that. So O'Neal hasn't had a huge camp, but I'll tell you what, he has had a few plays. I remember a couple days ago, he had a forced fumble and peanut punch of the ball. He had a PBU. Those were his two biggest plays, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. So let's get back to let's see what YouTube has. Some more questions. My man Roberto, appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for all the support. Let's get to your question. He says, how is E-Man doing? E-Man is doing very good. Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback. Him and Charvarius Ward have been absolutely impressive. I'll tell you what, man, absolutely impressive to see Emmanuel Mosley and Charvarius Ward. If these two guys stay healthy, we have a lockdown secondary with the pressure up front like we talked about. E-Man's coming into camp, and he's been playing great. Yesterday there was a play, Deebo Samuel, right sideline. Lance drops back, throws it to him. Emmanuel Mosley clamped him. He didn't let Deebo separate at all. I was like, E-Man's got that dog in him. And he's done that a lot in training camp. Like, he's been a guy that's just been clamping receivers. There's a play, he clamped Jennings several times. Anybody that sticks, that's covered by Ayuk, E-Man has been dominating. The only guy that's really been able to catch anything on him is Ayuk, but Ayuk's been locked and loaded in training camp. So absolutely amazing, man. E-Man, it's a contract year. We know he wants to ball out, but this guy is very, very focused this year. He looks even better. He looks stronger. The thing with E-Man, he's always had the talent. He just needed to stay consistent. He just needed to stay healthy, because when you're injured, you lose that consistency. So E-Man coming into camp looking fresh, looking good. Good question, Roberto. Let's see. Hit that like button if you're on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, it's easier to get me questions because there's thousands of you here. There's only a few of you here on YouTube. So head over to YouTube. I'll answer your questions. It's a little easier to get to them. There's a lot on the screen over here. Got 190 over here on YouTube or on Instagram. Let's get 190 on YouTube. Hit that like button. Get your questions on the screen a little bit easier. Appreciate the support. We're going on both YouTube, Instagram. What's up, Instagram? What's up, YouTube? This is crazy. RSF 49ers on the YouTube. Go check it out. Let's see. My man, the connoisseur's choice, the no cap. He says the relocation to Santa Clara was the worst mistake ever. You know what? I've had this conversation a lot. We all miss Candlestick Park. Candlestick Park was a vibe. If you've never been to Candlestick Park, you're missing out. You missed out. That was legendary times. I'm sure that many of you guys have been to Candlestick Park, old Niner fans. That was just special. I've had stories I've told you guys. It's a very special place. If you're a Niner fan, it holds a special place in your heart. When you drive by it now and it's all broken down and you see the sign and it's not there, it brings a tear to your eyes. But Levi Stadium, not a horrible stadium. It's okay, but it's hot in that damn stadium. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to throw this question out there, and I want you to answer. Do you think Levi should have been built with a dome? Because I've had this conversation with several people. Do you guys think that Levi Stadium should have been built with a dome? I kind of feel like it because it's hot. I got dehydrated on a game last year. I almost died out there. It was so freaking hot. Sun was beaming, sunburnt. It was bad. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Levi should have been built with like a dome or some type of cover? The stadium's hotter than my life. It is terrible. What's up, everybody on YouTube? Like, subscribe. Appreciate you. Let's get the answers to this question. Levi should be a dome. It's too damn hot. Oh, man. Remember when I lost the cheese touch? I do remember when I lost the cheese touch. That was tragic. Everybody's agreeing, and we all think that it should have a dome. See, it gets so hot. You guys are absolutely right. We should put in a petition. Let's go call John Lynch. Tell him to put a damn dome on that stadium. Yo, John, beep, 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 beep. Yo, let's get a dome on Levi Stadium. It is way too hot. I'm out there dehydrated. Water doesn't help you. Water doesn't help you, especially when it's a 1 p.m. game. My man says, should have a removable cover type of roof. Exactly. These are the hard questions we need to know. You guys, do you see what I'm saying? It's hot. It's hot out there. Don't even know. I don't want to hear that it's not. It's so hot out there. Shit, man. Dying in that stadium. Good question. Great answers. Let's get back to the YouTube questions. That was a phenomenal question from Instagram. Let's drop back to YouTube. Let's see. Bilo says, if you would rank the year 2 DBs or the new blood, who's turning heads more? Thomas, Castro Fields, or Womack? I will tell you, man, Sam Womack, rookie cornerback out of Toledo, has been turning heads left and right. This kid looks good. I feel that eventually he's going to be the slot corner for us. I don't know about initially. I think Darcus Denard will probably be your starting slot corner, or Dante Johnson. But Sam Womack, remember the name, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Womack could be the next K'Waun Williams in this defense. This kid's fast. They're going to dial up those nickel blitzes. You need someone to be quick off that edge. Sam Womack has looked really good. I like this guy. He has a chance to make this team and be something special. Good question. But I want to tell you this. Diamador Lenore has had a great camp. I think he's had a better camp than Ambry Thomas. And they've played Diamador Lenore on the outside, not just on the slot. They've actually played Lenore on the perimeter, on the outside. Lenore's having a good camp. It's like a battle between him and Ambry. And right now, Lenore has kind of stepped up. You know, I think he took last year personally because they didn't give him an opportunity in the season. And I think Lenore has responded to that very well. Diamador Lenore, very good camp. Let's see. Mexican gutter music. Shout out to this man. He says, will Drake Jackson get a lot of playing time? I don't know about initially because Kyle Shanahan and rookies, you know how Kyle is with rookies. He's a little weird with the rookies, right? But I definitely think that he's going to start to get playing time as he continues to develop. Drake Jackson has looked good. You know, he doesn't have the full form that he's going to be. You know, if you look at his film, there's always something that it's lacking. Like you're like, oh, he is good, but he can be more. He can be more. He just has to get that technique down. He has a lot of talent. He's really good. He's got some speed, but he can fine tune his skills. And I think working with Chris Kasurek, getting in that NFL weight room and locker room and just building his body, chiseling himself, he can get a little bit more muscle on that. He's going to be a monster. And as he continues to grow, this guy's going to be a star on this team with Nick Bosa. He's definitely been a guy in camp that I've really, really been impressed with as a rookie. He first came in, you know, and you can tell he was a little slow to get off his breaks, but now he's moving quick. He went from the third team to the second team. He gets into the first team a lot. I like Drake Jackson, man. This guy's a fast learner, and he's moving up there. He's very, very much learning the game quick. And you could tell Chris Kasurek is really taking his time with him, and that's important because you don't want him to be a bust. This was our first pick of the draft this year. They got a lot of high hopes. He's a very good kid, very humble young man, and I could tell he really wants to learn it. But sometimes these young kids, these younger players, it's so much they get hyped up. So you got to slow them down, let them learn the game. But I think Drake Jackson eventually will be a big-time part of this team. But, you know, early in the season, I wouldn't expect a whole lot out of him. But I think eventually he's going to figure it out and be a home run killer. Him and Bosa, in 2 years, you're going to see Nick Bosa, Drake Jackson just dominating quarterbacks. A year or two from now, it's going to be the best defensive end tandem if they stay healthy together. It's going to be scary. He's going to be what D Ford should have been. Just needs to kind of shave down a little bit and just get a little bit more lean. Like Kinlaw, this guy's so lean now. Like the guy's transformed his body. Big dude. We always knew he was big. A little stocky. Now, Javon Kinlaw, holy shit, this guy's in incredible shape. And that's what I'm talking about, Drake. Give him a year in that NFL weight room. He's going to be like chiseled out of stone. Just wait for it. Alex says, day off from work. This is my work now. I've officially become full-time content creator. You know where we go. Let's do it. Bilo says, get the likes up. That's right. Get the likes up. Appreciate you. Bilo, you're the man. 41 people. Hit the like button. Let's get to some Instagram questions. Nate says, Kinlaw is ripped AF now. Bro, if you've seen him, this man is fucking ripped. Like, you see Nick Bosa, we know he's a specimen. But Kinlaw, oh my God, this guy, like, and he purposely wears these, like, tight shirts when he's not in practice, like when he's in street clothes. And I'm like, damn, this boy looking ripped, man. Just ready to crush Grant Cole's skull out. You can tell he's coming for blood this year. My man Kagon says, I always wondered, what if Ford had a healthy year? That's what we all wonder. We all saw the potential. Dee Ford was a physical specimen. It was like 250, ripped, speed rusher. He had the talent. Just the injuries got the best of him. If he was healthy with Nick Bosa, this D line, holy moly, would have been absolutely like deadly. That's just the bad luck for Dee Ford. You know, back injuries, knee injuries, it all caught up to him. They had to get rid of him. He was stealing money like the Hamburglar, unfortunately. Good guy. I don't hate the guy, but the guy couldn't stay healthy, and we need players on the field. If you're on the bench, you ain't doing us any justice, unfortunately. But he was always hurt, man, and it sucks. So I really hope Drake Jackson can be what Dee Ford could have been. But you're right, that's a great comment. He had so much talent. Let's get to this question. Steve O knows, my man. Let's get to this one. He says, who will be running back 2 behind Elijah Mitchell? I'll get to that one. Jesus says, Raj, the stickers are fire. We put them on the hydro. I'm glad you like the stickers. We got more coming. We got some on back order. There were so many stickers when I went to sell them that last week. Bro, they went fast. So I ordered more. We're going to put them on a website for you guys because those stickers went quick. I'm glad people liked them. Could be. It was... Young says, according to my sources, OBJ has landed in Oakland. OBJ, I don't care about OBJ, man. He was coming here years ago. Ain't no more. But this is a good question by Steve-O. He says, who will be the running back 2 behind Elijah Mitchell? Phenomenal question because the running backs have been standing out. TDP, yeah, you know me. That boy been looking fresh, but do not count out Trey Sermon. I think if the rosters were set today, Trey Sermon is your running back 2. This boy has coming in, cooking, looking strong, looking fast, looking fresh. He's focused. Whatever they did to him last year is stuck in his head because he does not want to be in that doghouse. I'm telling you, he busted talk to Brandon Ayuk and said, how the hell do I climb out of this doghouse, Brandon? And he's figured it out because he is looking so good, like the funky Cole Medina. Trey Sermon is on another level this year. I like what I've seen. So I think right now, running back 1, Elijah Mitchell, running back 2, Trey Sermon, running back 3, TDP. That is right now until preseason starts. So I'm telling you, Trey Sermon looks good. Anthony Lynn has been a godsend for these guys. Unlike Smitty will tell you. Smitty will tell you Anthony Lynn's not worth a blood nickel, but I'm going to tell you that that's very false. Yeah, I'm rooting for Sermon too. Let's see. Troy Fox is Aziz and Hufanga as standout players. Aziz has been he's been in there. He's been doing his thing, but they're kind of being very safe with Aziz. He gets some days off. He gets some days in. They're ramping him in because he did come into this training camp with some, off-season injuries. So they're trying to be very careful with the Greenlaw and Aziz, actually. But Hufanga has had a good camp. But I'll tell you what, Tarvarius Moore is on the rise. Tarvarius Moore is on the rise, and he's putting pressure on Talanoa Hufanga. Hufanga, when everything first started, appreciate you, Sammy. I saw your comment. Subscribe to the YouTube. When Hufanga first started training camp, I was like, he's a lock to start at center. Lock. But Tarvarius Moore is healthy. He's got the athleticism. He looks quick. He looks impressive. I was worried that Tarvarius Moore would not have the athleticism. He has it. He has the athleticism that we knew he had before the injury, and it's a good thing. I think they're going to rotate these guys. I think Hufanga and Moore are going to rotate. I think you're going to see some 3 safety sets. It's crazy. I think they're going to use some 3 safety sets. My man C-Mac has been telling us all offseason, don't sleep on Tarvarius Moore. Don't sleep on Tarvarius Moore. Here we were sleeping on Tarvarius Moore, and now I'm telling you, don't sleep on Tarvarius Moore. This guy's going to become a solid player on this roster. Him and Hufanga are going to rotate. No doubt about it, because there's some things that Hufanga can do that Moore can do. He's good in the box, great against the run, solid tackler, but Tarvarius Moore has that range, the speed, he can cover. You're going to see them both. But I'll tell you what, man, don't count out Tarvarius Moore being the starting safety next to Jimmy Ward. That's it. I got to say that because T. Moore has looked pretty good. He's gotten first team reps the last 2 days, which I was like, oh, developing story over here. You got to look at this, man. These 2 guys are both good, but they both do different things good. So 3 safeties are going to be in the mix. This is it. The $1 million question. Mike 1K. No doubt, Troy. You're welcome. Everybody on YouTube wants to know the $1 million question. Are the starters playing Friday? Is Trey going to play? How long is Trey going to play? That's what everybody wants to know. Shanahan will tell us. I doubt he will. Shanahan sometimes likes to front on the media. Will he tell us this week? I don't know. Will Trey play this week? I don't know. But you have to think about it this way. If you're looking at training camp, I feel like Trey does need a little bit of reps. You know, he needs more reps. Like, of course, he's going to continue to get better with reps, especially against another team. But you don't want him out there too much because it's a meaningless preseason game. You don't want him to get hurt, but you do want him to get some reps. So it's a balance. It's a balance out there. How many reps will Trey get? If Trey plays, you have to realize Trent Williams is not going to play. Mike McGlinchey is not going to play. Debo is probably not going to play. Ayuk may not play. Kittle's not going to play most likely. The starters aren't going to be out there. You're going to be throwing him out there without his starters just so he can get his feet wet. You probably don't want to play him more than 2 series, 1 or 2 series. That's it. Get him in, get him out, get the fuck out of there. Don't let him get hurt. It's part of my language. Get him the hell out of there. And we'll see how he does. But if he plays, there's no more than two series. That's it. That's it. Do I think he'll play? If I had to be a betting man, I'm going to say yes, he's going to play a series. That's it. That's it. I can't wait. Bilo says it's going to be Sudfeld and Purdy. Again, I agree. It's probably going to be those two. But if Trey Lance plays, no more than a series, maybe 2. You can't keep him out there too long. There's not going to be anybody out there. But he does need some reps against another team. Gomez says, let me start 4 series. I'll call Kyle. Let him know. What position you play, Gomez? We'll get him out. We'll get you out there. Salini says, it was nice meeting you. It was nice meeting you. It was nice meeting everybody at training camp. I've met so many great people at training camp, taking pictures, signing jackets. Like, it makes me feel unbelievable. And I just want to say I appreciate all the support. Love you, faithful. And it's been great meeting everybody there. So shout out to y'all. Been amazing. How good is Nate Sudfeld? He's the greatest quarterback in the NFL history. He's a backup quarterback. I'm bad. He throws some dimes. He's better than people think. Better than people think. He's a good backup quarterback. Let's just leave it at that. That's it. How's my daughter? My daughter's doing good. She's starting high school on Wednesday. She's at her mom's this week, and I get her back Friday. It's her 14th birthday on Sunday. Crazy. My daughter's going to be 14 years old on Sunday. Fucking, I'm old. She's starting high school on Wednesday. She's doing good. We were hanging out this weekend after training camp. So, unbelievable. I can't believe she's going to be a high school freshman in high school. So, unbelievable. Crazy. Mike 1K. Great question. How has Ray looked? Ray has looked impressive. He has looked really good. He hasn't played with the first team much, but this guy looks like he's going to be a secret weapon for this team, right? He's got this yak ability. He's elusive. He can catch over the middle, slant guy, run the jet sweeps, the reverse. I think Shanahan's going to use Ray more than people imagine. He's going to be a little secret weapon. And he's so elusive. I'm telling you, Ray McLeod is like the long-lost Yak brother. He's the step Yak bro that we've been waiting for. He's going to be a new Yak brother. I'm going to tell you. We got to get a shirt, and it's going to be Kittle. It's going to be Ayuk. It's going to be Debo, and then we got Ray. We got to make a new Yak brother shirt with Ray on it. I'm telling you, he's going to be a new Yak brother. The way he is, he's dancing, he's skating, he's slippery after the catch. This guy, Ray, you guys are going to like Ray McLeod. He's been very nice in training camp. I'm telling you. This guy's been very nice in training camp. Angel Lopez wants to know. He says, Angel Lopez wants to know, has Banks been playing with the first team? Aaron Banks has been playing with the first team at left guard the whole time of training camp. He looks like he's penciled in to be your left guard. If training camp were to end and the season was to start, Aaron Banks is your left guard. And let me tell you, man, Aaron Banks, Mr. Banks' baby boy, has made me proud. This man has had a hell of a training camp. This boy has turned up the intensity, got his body right. He looks a lot slimmer. He looks quick. This man, Aaron Banks, has played so good in training camp. It makes me happy. You got that left side, the best side, right? We missing Laken Tomlinson. I'm not going to say he's going to come right in and replace Laken right away because those are big shoes to fill. But I'll tell you what, Trent Williams is not going to let this man. Trent Williams is not going to let this man, Aaron Banks, fail. And Aaron Banks has been playing very, very, very good football in training camp. I'll tell you what, man, I really like what I seen out of Aaron Banks. Mr. Banks must be proud of his son. I'm telling you, man, this man looking good. So it's very good to see it. Again, we got to see what he does in the games, but so far, so good out of Aaron Banks. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Aaron Banks, right? It's a lot of pressure. Tons of it. A lot of pressure. Damian Garcia says, do you think Ayuk has a better year than Debo? I want the faithful to answer this question before I do, because this has been a big topic, massive topic. Everybody that I go, when I'm at training camp, I hear the chatter, I hear everybody saying, I hear the people talking, Brandon Ayuk's going to be better than Debo. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 1. Brandon Ayuk's better than Debo. You guys answer the question. I want you to tell me, what do you think? Is Brandon Ayuk going to have a better season than Debo? In my opinion, it feels like Debo Samuel, who's fresh off a 3-year contract extension worth $71 million, is underrated. Debo Samuel, for some reason, all of a sudden, is underrated. Debo Samuel's fucking underrated right now. It's kind of crazy. Because I get it, Trey Lance and Ayuk have this amazing chemistry. It's like they're soulmates, BFFs on the field. They know exactly where they're going to be when they throw the ball. Playing catch. Debo and Trey, they're still learning. Their chemistry's not there. But you have to realize Debo Samuel is the key focus point of this. He's the major point of this offense. He's going to get his in many different ways. He gets plays. He can run out to the side, slant over the middle. He can run the perimeter if he needs to. Jet sweep, reverse. They're going to give the ball to Debo in crunch time. They're going to give him the ball. 5-yard screen, he's going to take it up 80 yards. Like, Debo's going to get his. But I feel that people, because I love Ayuk, and he's had a great offseason, a great training camp. He's so focused. He's so determined. He looks so much better. He looks like a star in the making. But you have to realize Debo Samuel already is a star. He's an all-pro player. He's an all-pro player. He already is an all-pro. Brandon Ayuk still has to prove that he's an all-pro, not taking anything away from his absolutely amazing training camp. An amazing training camp. He still has to prove that he can be a Pro Bowler and put it all in one season. Keep being consistent. I think he will. I think Ayuk's going to have a phenomenal season. Brandon Ayuk to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. But Debo Samuel has already showed you he's an all-pro. He's a Pro Bowler. He's the star of this team. So let's temper our expectations. I think Ayuk can have a 1,000-yard season, but I still think the best player and the best receiver on this team is Debo Samuel. That's just my opinion. And I know everybody's so hyped on Ayuk. And Trey Lance and Ayuk, I will tell you, from what I've seen, their connection is so good. They have a beautiful connection. You could tell they've worked so hard in the last 2 years. They've cultivated such a good dynamic. And I know that Debo is a little bit behind with Trey. They're still working on it. But Debo Samuel's still Debo Samuel. He just signed a 3-year, $71 million contract extension. Pretty sure he's going to get the ball a lot. Pretty sure he's going to have at least 1,300 yards. He's still a baller. But, you know, it's a good problem to have that we're going to have 2 dominating receivers. You know, Smitty told me this the other night, and this is something I was like, man, he made such a good point. And I have to, like, I've been thinking about this. It's like the Bengals. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is amazing. T. Higgins is good, but he's just not on Jamar Chase's level. Just not yet. But he's still a great receiver. And I think that's kind of where the Niners are at. Debo Samuel, right now, he is a superstar. And I think Brandon Ayuk can become to that level. He's kind of like our T. Higgins. He's there. We know he has it. He can break out. But he still hasn't passed Debo yet. But it could happen. I still got Debo over Ayuk this year. That's my boy. Good problem to have. 2 strong receivers. If we have 2,000-yard receivers, NFL better give us our love. Jesus says, Debo runs hard. Don't give a damn what's in front of him. Exactly. He runs so physical. He's so violent at the top of his routes. Unbelievable. Damian wants to know about a Bosa extension. That's not coming until next year. He's cool. He's still getting $13 million a year. He's got the 5th-year extension they picked up. Bosa will get his in due time next year, most likely. He's not worried about it. They're going to figure it out. Not worried about Bosa getting an extension. Jimmy Ward should be getting extended. Bilo says, I agree. Jimmy Ward, longtime Niner, 9-year vet, the crusty vet, the longest tenure, the captain. Jimmy Ward's amazing, man. He doesn't take a day off of practice. You know, these veterans get practice days off. You know, Bosa takes time. You got Kittle. You got Trent Williams. All these veterans, I see them take time off. I haven't seen Jimmy Ward take a day off of practice, man. This is the hardest working Niner we got, dude. This guy's a beast. 9-year vet. Take a day off, Jimmy Ward. You deserved it. I hope we pay him. But he is not getting any younger. You know, how much money would they be willing to give him, you know, to stay around? I hope he sticks, finishes his career as a Niner. But it's a business, and it's a grimy business. If they could find someone younger, better, cheaper, it might go that route. I really hope that's not the case because I love Jimmy Ward personally. He's always been great, you know, to me. Talking to him, he gave me a platform. He's talked to me live many times. He's DM'd me many times. Just a really good person, just a really good individual, and he's battled adversity. He went through so much shit as, you know, his first few seasons. People hated the guy. He went through injury after injury, but he stuck with it. He turned down less money, he turned down more money with the Raiders to stay with the Niners for less. So I love Jimmy Ward. Let's see. Today is officially marking Packers week. It's a game week. I don't know if you guys are excited. I'm very excited. It's Packers week. We're gonna go live all week. We're gonna talk about the game later in the week. Tomorrow we got training camp. Wednesday we have training camp. I want to do Thursday. We want to do like a pregame show, prediction Thursday. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about the Niners and the Packers. We'll talk about some of the old games. We'll talk about all the stories leading up to Green Bay. And by Thursday we should know who's playing in the game, so we can talk a little bit more about if Trey's playing, if this guy's playing, if your mama's playing, whoever's playing. So we'll know by Thursday, and I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to have a pregame show on Thursday. I'm excited. I hope you are excited. We're killing the game. YouTube over here, I appreciate the support. Thank you for those that hopped on to the YouTube today and dropped questions. I feel like it's a little easier to read the questions on the YouTube, but I still want to respect everybody on Instagram. So I'm trying to do both, trying to be as good as I can and efficient as I can. So shout out to y'all on Instagram. Shout out to y'all on YouTube. I love you all. At the end of the day, it's all your support that's helping me get to where we are. And thank you. We got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube this weekend. Love you. And we got 30K on Twitter. And we got a 191K on Instagram, man. We're killing it. I love you guys. I'm trying my hardest. That's it for today. We will be live later this week. More times. Tomorrow's training camp. Let me know what you want to see. Give me some questions. We'll see. 2 more days. 2 more days. I love you guys. Let's go. Don't believe the haters. Trey Lance is going to be good. This team is going to be great. Green Bay week. Let's go. Let's smash some Packers. Let's go crush the cheese. Bang, bang. Not again. Have a good day.